non-verbal communication today, children. Okay, I had finished with till the others are coming in. I'll just do a recap of the others and I'll show you what all did we do. We had done the objectives, then we started with meaning of verbal communication, remember? Then we did what is non-verbal. I had just given a slide to explain exactly what is non-verbal communication. Then we did what is written communication, that it is done through written words like circular notices. Then we spoke about the merits of written communication. We spoke about the demerits of written communication. And then what did we do? Okay, good morning, Costa. Good morning, Melvin. Both have just come in and joined us.
Good morning, ma'am.
We spoke about merits of written. We spoke about the
Demerits.
of written. Yes. Then we did which one? We spoke about spoken.
Difference. Spoken. From difference.
Merits, demerits.
Difference.
Difference.
I think this is the last part we had done yesterday, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, how many of you went through the chapter when I had sent yesterday the copy? Did any of you go through it? I had sent a soft copy of it. Melvin, are you there? Have you walked in?
Yes, ma'am.
Melvin there? Okay. Right. So today I'm going to start with non-verbal communication and the different types of non-verbal communication.
Ma'am, Neha is not here.
Neha is still not joined in. She's just
Yes,
in.
ma'am, she is not.
Let me just see if everyone is there. Just quickly see. Ved, Melvin, present. Kaustav is present. 3. Ronak is present. 4. Neha. Neha has also come in. 5. Okay, great. All are there. So we are starting now with non-verbal communication. Okay. Communication without using words is called non-verbal communication. Yesterday I told you, whenever we are using language, it becomes verbal communication. But whenever we do something in the form of a gesture, like giving a smile, raising an eyebrow, your facial expressions, all these come under non-verbal communication. In fact, even when you watch a map, or you look at a chart, or you look at a graph, they all convey lot of complex information and data. What happens when you see a pie chart? Doesn't pie chart give us information? It does, isn't it? It gives us so much information about the area, about the percentage of population, so much kind of data we can get from a graph, from a map. They are what? They are visual forms of communication. They are also communicating, but they are not like written and spoken communication. They do not come under verbal communication. Clear? So non-verbal communication differs from verbal communication both in terms of intent and spontaneity. Where's Kaustav gone? He has suddenly disappeared. Yes, Kaustav, where were you?
Ma'am, Nicholas call.
Please pay attention in the class and don't constantly interrupt. So we
Yes,
generally
ma'am.
plan the word before writing or speaking them, isn't it? I want to say something or I want to write something. You make a plan and, before you say something. But non-verbal sometimes comes very naturally. An expression of anger on your face or unconsciously when we do things. Like, something hot is there. You unconsciously remove your hand. So it is non-verbal in nature. They are not planned actions. We do not plan to smile or to raise an eyebrow. They just naturally come on our faces. Some of the gestures I can tell you, like the posture of this person, how he is sitting, the gesture, the facial expressions, they all come under non-verbal communication. Okay. Sorry.
What are the last two pictures over there?
Yeah, I'll just show you. I think they just got hidden 1 minute. Well, I'll just do a slideshow. 1 minute, wait. Can you see now? Okay. So we do not plan a smile or raising an eyebrow. Our emotions are written on our faces. Okay. Now, why these pictures I have shown you? Because the types we will do, they will all relate to the non-verbal forms of communication. Okay. Now we come to the types of non-verbal communication, like visual communication. Visual means what? Something which we see, right? Audio visual communication, which you can see as well as hear. Body language, the way you, body language is basically the study of kinetics. The way you sit, the way you express yourself, the way you conduct yourself. Paralanguage, proxemics, each one I'm going to discuss in details in the next slide. Okay, these are important, children, because many times a long question comes as types of non-verbal communication. Visual communication. If you look at visual communication is through graphs, diagrams, and there are many other means of visual communication. Have you heard the saying, a picture is worth 10,000 words? You see a picture and it reads a lot of data. The mind, through the eye, it appreciates many kind of significant figures in the form of a picture. Moment a picture is put on a slide, you will like to see it, right? If I tell you a story and I'll ask you to watch a movie, most people like to watch the movie over reading the story. Why?
Ma'am, we can understand better.
Because visual,
When it's expressed better in the movie.
it is expressed better. Why?
It's more interesting.
It's more interesting because visual impact has a lot of it on us, because we get very attracted when we see lots of lights, lots of pictures. Figures are dry, but diagrams delight the eye. Diagrams and graphs always have a memorizing value. They help in comparing data. With the help of graphs and diagrams that have a visual appeal, they are also impressive to the layman. Who's a layman? Who's a layman, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone? Who's a layman?
Ma'am, an ordinary man.
An ordinary person who doesn't understand much, who has not been informed about many things, but still he understands just looking at the map, just looking at the visual. That is the impact visual communication has. However, there are certain limitations to it also. They can present only certain pronoun. Who's making that sound? Which one is making the sound and not paying attention in the class? Right. So graphs and diagrams have a visual appeal and therefore they prove to be more impressive to the layman, as I said. But sometimes they also have some amount of limitations. What limitations? They cannot present all the time qualitative facts. Whatever written data can read and give you exact facts and figures, visual data may not be able to do that. Diagrams and graphs may be misinterpreted because the way I read it may not be you will also read it, right? So these can create into a propaganda. It may create into some kind of misunderstandings between people. So it has its advantages, it has its disadvantages. Next, we come to oral communication. What is the meaning of the term oral? Oral, generally we relate to what?
Auditory.
Auditory. Oral or auditory methods of communication are those which can be heard, like a bell. Why do we have in school bells, buzzers, on the roads? We have horns, whistles. Why?
In order to alert the people.
In order to alert the people. But why do the people need to get alert? For what reason, Costa?
Ma'am, for an emergency, maybe?
Yeah.
There is a fire on the room in the school.
Okay.
Ma'am,
so
for emergency, basically.
Fire alarm is rung. Exactly. So this is also a means of communication. I might be taking a class and suddenly if I hear the fire alarm, I will ask the class to exit. So I have been communicated through the fire alarm, right? So basically oral communication helps to inform and give different means of communication. Why is a bell rung in a school? To inform the teachers and students that the period has got over or a new period is going to start. Audiovisual communications like TV, films, they also combine oral and visual media together. How you watch a movie? A movie is a combination of both the oral sounds as well as the video medium. Clear? Anything to ask here?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Okay, great. Then we come to body language. Can you see different kinds of body language pictures I have shown you? Defensive, arrogant, annoyed, irritated, happy, confused, worried. So body language is nothing but kinetics or kinesics as it is called. It is the study of body movements. Body language, if you see, the different parts of the body, they convey messages effectively. They tell us, like when we are smiling or when we are raising an eyebrow, why do we do it? To show some kind of emotion, right? Yes, it happens. Closing and opening an eye, shrugging. What is shrugging? Okay. Drooping up and down the shoulders, the eye contact. When you stare at someone or when you glance at someone, you're nodding, shaking, folding arms, raising finger. Everything has a meaning. The way you convey yourself, your body language plays a very, very important role in that. Even your body posture, the way you sit. Some people, they sit like that, very droopingly, sit straight, alert, your whole body language also speaks. So even the positions of the body, they communicate. Body postures include fidgeting, okay, like movements of hand and feet, doodling, scribbling aimlessly. These postures, they all convey certain specific meanings. Fidgeting and doodling can be also out of nervousness. Say I'm going for an exam or I'm nervous about something. Don't you doodle? Many times it happens, no? Moving of fingers or shaking of legs. These are nothing but what? Body postures. These postures convey certain meanings. Even the way a person dresses up. Generally, why they tell you when you're going to school, you should look formal. Your whole dressing, it shows that you've come for some business, you've come for some purpose. So your whole structuring plays a very important role in the way you're going to conduct yourself. Body time conveys a message. When a person comes early, it conveys a different meaning. And when a person comes late, obviously it conveys a different meaning. In many countries, coming late is a sign of miscommunication. It is a sign of not being punctual on time. So even time management is a very important part of communication. Is anything to ask here? Difficult? What is body language? Not
No.
understood? Clear?
No, ma'am.
No,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, can one of you tell me body language is study of what?
I'm kinetics.
Kinetics. Okay. What are the two important parts, Kaustav, in body language?
Body movements and body postures.
Okay. Melvin, can you tell me one or two important body movements?
Ma'am, for example, if we are smiling, it means that we are happy, or if we are worried, then we will start thinking how to do it. So those body postures.
And body movements can be seen. Okay. Good. Neha, I hope you're there in the class. I can't see you properly. Yes. Okay. Next comes paralanguage. Okay. So I think till body language,
Ma'am?
everything is clear.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
can you tell everyone to mute their mics from there's a bit of disturbance?
Who has not put their mics on mute? Neha has, Ronak, Melvin, Kaustav. Wait, everyone has. Okay. Right. Now let's look at paralanguage. What can you see? What expression is that girl giving?
Shocked.
Shocked.
Okay. So
Astonished.
astonished. Okay. Paralanguage basically relates to what? To the voice quality, the voice volume, even the pitch. Sometimes we do oh, these kind of sounds come out, right? They are not proper words, but still they are conveying communication. That is paralanguage. Even signs of suddenly laughing or yawning, or all kinds of, you can say, body movements which have some silent dimensions of non-verbal communication, they become paralanguage. So paralanguage is nothing but a verbalized way of non-verbal communication. Certain sounds are there, certain verbs are there, certain verbal annotations are taking place. but those annotations are not with proper spoken words. I hope I'm being clear to what I'm explaining. Is there any doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
No.
Can I go to the next one?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
ma'am, is snoring considered as paralanguage?
Can come, yes, because it is, you can say it is a type of paralanguage, because there is a sound that is taking place, but it mainly comes more with the vocal intonations, okay, like aha, oh, those more come under paralanguage. But yes, I think
And what
so.
about
Yeah,
what about sneezing and coughing?
Sorry,
What about sneezing and coughing?
coughing, yes, yeah, that's also a kind of paralanguage, correct, would come under paralanguage, right?
Okay, thank you.
Now we come to proxemics. Here you'll see a video. Before I show you the video, I'm going to first, I make you understand what is proxemics. Proxemics is the study of space and how we use it. Okay. Nowadays, why is so much of social distancing being told to us? Can I
And because of COVID-19.
COVID-19.
So that it does not spread.
It does not spread. So interpersonal space is in whose hands? It is in the person, the communicator's hands. The study of space and how we use it, it makes us feel more or less comfortable, and how we arrange objects and ourselves in relation to the space given, in relation to people given. So use of interpersonal space between the communicator and the communicatee is called proxemics. These will come, children. It can come as a definition. What is proxemics? What is paralanguage? You're not supposed to get confused. Okay, paralanguage is related to verbalized form of non-verbal communication in the form of vocal intonations. Proxemics is the use of interpersonal space between the communicator and the communicatee. That is proxemics. When people, 1 minute, Kaustav, I'm listening to you. When two people purposefully maintain a distance between them by speaking to each other, it has a meaning. But would you like, when you are sitting somewhere, suddenly someone comes on you and talks to you? Would you like that? No, you'll get irritable, isn't it? You say, please move ahead, please sit there. That is nothing but showing about proxemics. Yes, Kaustav, tell me your question.
Ma'am, communicatee is the one who's listening, is a receiver, and the communicator is a sender, right?
Correct, correct, right. Anything else you want to ask me here? Not understanding?
No,
Melvin, clear? Ved? Anyone? Rona? Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear, ma'am.
I can't see Ronak. Ronak has suddenly done a disappearing action.
Ma'am, I'm
Ronak,
there.
put on your video.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now can you see the video? Okay. And after, see the video properly. It's a fun video. You all will enjoy. But then I'm going to ask certain questions related to it. Okay. So see it nice.
I don't think I'll be able to.
So did you see the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Enjoy it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So what was this video about? Who's this character?
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean.
Okay. How does it relate to our lesson? Why did I show you a video on Mr. Bean?
Ma'am,
Because I
because he was getting irritated, annoyed. He used all the expressions.
Okay. So was his expressions were of what kind of communication?
Ma'am, he was
Non-verbal.
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 What did I last part? What did I explain to you? What did we learn in the last slide?
Proxemics.
Proxemic space.
To see what he was
Proxemics.
trying to do there. That old lady, first he wanted more space to move around, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Problem he faced. And then when he was he could not push her directly. So all the frustrations and expressions were coming out on his face. And then what happens in the last part of the video? What happens?
He gets
Ma'am,
rid of
climbed.
he gets rid of the aunt, but then he faces an uncle ahead.
So that means, do you understand in our lives how it is important to use interpersonal space? That if we do not use interpersonal space properly, it can create so much of problem for each one of us when we are walking, when we are moving. So this is when proxemics comes into a very important part. So this is also a form of non-verbal communication. Anything to ask here? You want to ask any questions or should
No,
I go?
ma'am. No.
No, ma'am.
Oh, great. Neha, did you see the video? Rana, I hope you all are seeing and not sleeping.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the next one I'm talking about is chronemics. Look at chronemics. What does it shows? Chronemics means time language. It is the study of how we use time to communicate. The meaning of time differs from one culture to another. Like as I said, in a country, the meaning of time may be very important, especially in British countries. If you look at the meaning of time management is extremely important there. Why?
And because they are punctual and
And
well managed.
punctuality.
Very punctual. So if they judge you, say you have gone for a job profile, okay, as an Indian possibly, let's say you have come to apply for a job there and suddenly you go and on the first day only you are late. What impression will it fall on the person who's your boss or person for whom you are working?
Ma'am, you're a latecomer or you're not that punctual with your
You're
job.
not particular about your job, you're not particular about things. So in such respects,
You don't
chronicles
suit the
plays
job.
a very important role. Yes, tell me. Sorry, Kaustav, you were saying
You
something.
don't suit the job.
We don't suit the
You
job.
don't suit the job.
Correct, correct. So here chronemics is nothing but time language. Okay, please understand it is how we are using the time to communicate. Clear? Okay, see here at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, the person is sleeping in his office. What kind of an impression is it giving? That is he serious about his work?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Is not serious.
Ill-mannered.
Yeah, tell me. Tell me, Kaustav.
Can it be ill-mannered?
I cannot hear what you're
This
saying.
guy ill-mannered. Can we
Which
call
type
this guy
of-
ill-mannered? Can
anyone
we call
listen?
this guy ill?
Can we call this guy?
Ill-mannered.
Voice is not coming clear.
Ma'am, he's saying
Ill-mannered.
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 Yeah. So yes, as I said, it will depend on the way you are going to interpret and see. Maybe some people might not take it as a very wrong thing. Okay, for some reason this person has got late, but many people may interpret it in a very wrong way. So chronemics again is nothing but time language. We are communicating with the help of time. And time plays a very important role in each one's life. The way you manage time, that is very important. Okay, the other types of non-verbal communication which I'm going to discuss. After this one is haptics or tactilics as it is called. It means the communication through touch. For example, a mother's touch conveys different from a girlfriend's touch. A person, the way you touch someone, okay, your whole body language, your touch, it is very different for each person. Mother caressing a child, okay, the kind of love a mother gives, or when you are addressing your friend, or a girlfriend touching his friend. So the touches are different. So these touches are, this study of touches through communication is called haptics. Then we come to artifactual. What is artifactual? Certain objects are communicating with us. Personal objects like pen, cell phone, laptop, they also convey a meaning. Okay, when a person carries, the way he arranges his things, his clothes, his accessories, they are all non-verbal clues about a person. Don't we say, oh, this person, he too cannot stay without his phone, or he should, these small instances, don't we relate the objects also with a particular person? This person, he always has a pen
Yes,
on
ma'am.
his shirt, right? We do connect to people with the kind of objects they carry, right? Or this girl, she loves to have a red purse with her always, right? We do connect people with them. That is called artifactual. Artifactual means relating to objects. When we are taking communication with the help of objects and we are trying to attach these non-verbal cues to a person. Silence. Silence sometimes communicates better than words. Why so? Why so? Can anyone tell me? Why silence communicates better than
Ma'am,
words?
because sometimes people can see the expression and the emotion in you.
What happens when a teacher is
Saying-
constantly shouting in the class? Students are not listening to us. Suddenly she keeps quiet for 5 minutes and sit. What happens after that?
Ma'am,
Ma'am, all students go quiet.
Everyone goes quiet. So in this case, which was a more powerful tool? Silence
Silence.
or shouting?
Silence.
Silence.
So sometimes silence works better than even words. Who else can be a better example than the great Charlie Chaplin? How we enjoy watching Charlie Chaplin movies even today. Yes or no? Right? If I put on a Mr. Bean or a Charlie Chaplin movie, you will love to watch it. Correct? The reason being that it is only through the actions they are communicating so much. Although if they are silent movies, still we love to watch them. Right? So silence sometimes speaks better than the words. So these are the different types of non-verbal communication. Tell me any parts not understood in any of them?
No, ma'am.
Clear? Costa, please pay attention to the class. Do not constantly
Yes,
speak to
ma'am.
others when the class is going on. It gets very disturbing like this. Ronak, did you understand?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Melvin, Neha, anything you all want to ask me? Clear. Melvin has shown a thumbs up. He's understood. Neha, did you understand? Okay, great. Kaustav has also done it. So are you ready to answer some questions before I go to the next part of the lesson?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
fine.
Yes.
So the different types of non-verbal communication. Okay, let's start. What is non-verbal communication? First question. Who's going to answer?
Ma'am, non-verbal communication is the communication which is done through not language but through expressions, our body postures, our body movements, how we react, our emotions.
Even through gestures.
Okay, through gestures. Very good.
Ma'am,
Which one are you going to explain? Which type of non-verbal communication are you going to explain? Each
Ma'am,
one
me?
has to explain one. Yes.
Ma'am, me?
Yes.
Ma'am, I'll explain visual communication.
Start.
Ma'am, visual communication is the communication which something like gestures, our body postures,
One
which
minute, wait, 1 second, wait. Melvin, what body gesture are you showing with putting hands on the mouth? Okay. Come wait. Let's start. Yes.
ma'am, showing gestures and your posture that gives you a visual, that gives the other person a visual communication of your state and how you are.
Okay. Can we say that visual communication is nothing but a picture worth 1,000 words? It
Yes,
tells
ma'am.
us It tells us, gives a bird's eye view of the entire data, and it's more expressive through graphs and maps and diagrams.
Maps.
Okay, great. Neha, which one are you going to explain? Okay, Ronak is the second. Neha, you have to explain today one. So please
Ma'am,
decide
body,
which one.
ma'am,
Yes,
body language.
body language. Okay.
Ma'am, body language is also a type of kinetics, means study of movements.
Okay.
It contains of the of two elements: body movements or kinetics and body postures.
Okay. What are body movements? Give example of both the types, Ronak.
Ma'am, folding arms, then facial expression like smile,
Right. They come under body movements. And
body movement.
postures? Body postures.
Ma'am, like body postures. Ma'am, attitude.
Attitude, the way you sit, I told you, your posture, okay, the way you fidget, doodling, nervousness, hands on hip, all these have an expression. Okay, okay, great. Costa, which one are you going to explain? Neha and Costa, come on, quickly.
Proximity of the
Which one is
interpersonal
speaking?
being communicated.
Yeah, yes, Costa.
Proximity
Proximics.
study, no, proximics refers to the interpersonal space between the communicator and the communicatee. And if,
Yes.
for example, if they both are too close to each other, it will be annoying or irritating. Whereas if they maintain a bit of distance, the conversation will be interesting.
Okay, great. Neha, which one are you going to explain? Neha's video is got off. I cannot see her again. Even Vale's video is got off. Where are they? Suddenly disappeared.
Now my video is on. Ma'am.
Yeah, Neha, I cannot see. She's again disappeared from the video. Right. So, which all are left? Who's going to explain paralanguage for me fast?
Ma'am,
I'm waiting. Yes, Rona.
paralanguage refers to verbalist ways. Verbalist ways in like gestures, like thumbs up, then
Yeah, but you have to say it properly. Verbalized way of non-verbal communication using intonations, vocal intonations, or
Yes.
non-fluencies like aha, an, o, etc. This line should be put using of vocal intonations and non-confluencies.
okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can I explain artificial and haptics?
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, haptics and tactics are communication through touch. For example, a mother's touch is different from a touch of like a friend or
Great.
friend, and artificial communication is the communication which is related to the objects, and it conveys a meaning of how you keep your things and what's your state. Yes.
Okay. And who's going to explain silence for me? The last one. Who's going to try? Someone else? Oscar, will you try?
Ma'am,
Silence?
yes, ma'am. Sometimes silence conveys more better than words. For example, if the students are making a lot of noise and if teacher is shouting, they won't listen. But at the same time, if teacher keeps quiet for 5 minutes, the class will be silent.
Correct. So I think you've got a full idea of the types of verbal and non-verbal communication.
Yes, ma'am.